Alright, guys, so we're here for part two. We're going to be covering the B's and possibly the C's. We'll see how far we get. But before we do that, OneAngryGamer, he's just on top of everything. He's added, I believe, 4 more entries in the symbols and A's. So we're just going to go over those real quick before we get to the next ones. So, 100 Thieves. They're an esports company. We know all about them. Big stance on diversity here, exclusivity. It is a white background. You could take that to mean they're signaling something. As always, you have like the silent majority here in the comments saying all lives matter, etc. You expect that. This is an all right statement. I think since they're a gaming company especially, we could see a turnaround here if public sentiment, like I said, the silent majority, if they start to speak out more, we'll see a change in their language for sure. Next up, we already did Apollo Theater. Next up is Azabu Studio, We Stand, Black Lives Matter, I guess France. Asabu Studio. So these are the developers behind A Plague Tale. So this is actually a very bad game. It was incredibly boring. And I think that stands on its own in regards to their statement. So we'll continue along here. Atlantic Records. Change.org. They're linking to a petition here. On Tuesday, June 2nd, Atlantic Records, in conjunction with Warner Music Group, will observe Blackout Tuesday. We will support our employees, artists, and global community on this day. The music business at WMG will not go on as usual. While this is only one day, we are committed to continuing the fight for real change. We will be using this day to collectively reflect on what we as a company can do to put action towards change, and we will be taking steps in the coming weeks and months. As a part of this, we will be contributing to Black Lives Matter and other organizations and are doing crucial work to combat racial injustice. Hashtag Black Lives Matter, hashtag the show must be paused. Ways you can get involved. Text Floyd to 55156 and to sign the Justice for George Floyd petition. Add your name to the Justice for George Floyd petition at www.change.org. Donate to the official George Floyd Memorial Fund set up by his family and organizations like Black Lives Matter. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Hashtag the show must be paused. So this is actually a very bad statement. As you can see, there's actually significant compression artifacts around their logo on this statement. This was clearly just thrown together. I don't think they really care about this. However, they do say that they're going to be working on donating. They are like a part of the media, so you can never really trust them. Of course, like they're obviously saying that they support like the protests, the rioting and looting and everything here with this statement. They're also, I believe, saying they hate white people here. So this is actually a very bad statement. Poorly put together. However, I think that's just signals more towards their generic incompetence more than anything else. Like I said, they give a call to action. Very, very bad. In fact, this 16 million people. This is actually just the vocal minority of people here. No one actually believes this. Next up, here we have Bad Robot Entertainment. So I believe this is the J.J. Abrams studio, something like that. Enough is enough. Enough police brutality, enough outsized privilege, enough polite conversation, enough white comfort, enough lopsided access, enough exhausting your friends and colleagues, enough being incurious, enough being unintentional, enough injustice, enough death, enough. We at Bad Robot are grateful to the many scholars, activists, organizers, and leaders fighting the front lines and change in our systemically unjust country. It is a constellation of thinkers and doers who are the blueprint to a more perfect, fair, equitable, and kind union. In this fragile time, words matter. Listening to critical investment is required. The centuries-long neglect and abuse of our black brothers and sisters can only be addressed by scalable investment. A massive and thoughtful overhaul of tax policy, one that effectively meets the needs of many in this country, and not just a few, is long overdue. Whew. This is a long statement, guys. Corporate and private philanthropy can never achieve an impact and need to address these systemic inequalities, but companies and individuals who are and must wait. Whew. Oh, this is so many words. I don't do this every day, guys. This is a lot of reading. but companies and individuals who are able must do what we can do until our political leaders lead. Between Bad Robot, Katie McGrath, and J.J. Abrams Family Foundation, we are committing an additional $10 million over the next 5 years to organizations and efforts committed to anti-racist agendas and close the gaps, lift the poor, and build a just America for all. We are humbled to announce the initial investments of $200,000 to each of the following organizations: Black Futures Lab, blackfutureslab.org, Black Lives Matter LA, blmla.org, Community Coalition People Power Progress, cocosouthla.org, Equal Justice Initiative EGI.org, Know Your Rights Camp, knowyourrightscamp.com, and here on the description of the Instagram post they say, "We at Bad Robot are grateful to the many scholars, activists, organizers, and leaders fighting on the front lines to change a systemically unjust country, hashtag Black Lives Matter. To learn more, look at each organization and go to the link in bio." Sorry about that. Well, they have a lot of engagement on this post relative to their follower count, I know. And they actually do donate money. They do a call to action. They don't say they're matching employee donations. However, typically, most Hollywood companies, all of their employees work on a contract basis, so it makes sense how they wouldn't be able to do that. It just wouldn't really make sense. Because of that, this does in fact be bad, and we get like I said, we get like a ×2 badness multiplier because they're a Hollywood company versus just being a regular company. So you do have to actually keep that in mind when looking at this. Next up, we have Bandai Namco Entertainment. We have a gaming company here. You have to pay special attention to the gaming companies because like gaming companies are typically, like I said, very bad, but like gaming is very important, especially when like there's hot anime chicks. I don't know how many hot anime chick games Bandai Namco Entertainment makes, but we'll just have to check out for this. So the ideas of inclusion, diversity, and fairness are core to Bandai Namco Entertainment America. We stand in solidarity with our black employees, black players, and black community. So they actually don't mention, this is Bandai Namco US, so it's clear that like the Japanese Bandai Namco, they don't actually care about this. So this is actually just like the Bandai Namco US, which is forced to say this. So this is actually all right. I'm definitely fine. If you want to continue to play Pac-Man in your free time, that's definitely okay. However, I would not recommend like purchasing a more expensive game from Bandai Namco. However, like playing Pac-Man in an arcade, giving a few quarters now and then, I typically do that every night. If you want to do that, that's all right too. Just be careful. See, they were kind of forced into doing this. Another indication is this was posted exactly at 8 a.m. If you look, actually, a lot of these are just posted like whenever. This was actually a scheduled post, as you can see here. Even though it's the Twitter web app, you just can never be sure. So you just have to keep that in mind. They may have been hacked into making a statement. You can never really be sure. And here we have hidden replies. You literally got this account on this account just to spread white supremacist propaganda. And do this on your real account. I dare you to. Cops are literally out here doing drive-bys with their neighborhoods, and you're posting stuff like this. I don't know why they hid that. Next up, Bandcamp. They are a traitor. We'll see. So Bandcamp, I actually like Bandcamp as a company. They're really good. It's a great way to get DRM free music. They give a lot of money direct to creators. They do a great service, I think, for music. But we'll have to see with a statement to see if I can continue to use them or not. The recent killings of George Floyd, Tony McDade, Sean Reed, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and the ongoing state-sanctioned violence against black people in the U.S. and around the world are horrific tragedies. We stand with those rightfully demanding justice, equality, and change, and the people of color everywhere who live with racism every single day, including many of our fellow employees and artists and fans in the Bandcamp community. So this coming June 19th, from midnight to midnight PDT. What does this mean? From midnight to midnight PDT? I guess midnight EST, or are they going UTC or GMT? We don't really know what they mean by that. Probably EST. I assume they're a US-based company. Typically, it's US-based companies or US divisions of multinational companies which are making statements about this. So we'll just have to see. For every purchase you make in Bandcamp, we will be donating 100% of our share of sales to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, a national organization that has a long history of effectively enacting racial justice and change through legislation, advocacy, and public education. We are also allocating an additional $30,000 per year to partner with organizations that fight racial justice and continue opportunities for people in color. The current moment is part of a long-standing, widespread, and entrenched system and structural oppression of people of color, and real progress requires sustained, sincere commitment to political, social, and economic racial justice and change. We'll continue to promote diversity opportunity through a mission to support artists and the producers that build and empower them, who promote through Bandcamp daily. Our relationships with local artists and organizations through our Oakland space, how we operate a team, and who we hire. Beyond that, we encourage everyone in the Bandcamp community to look for ways to support racial justice in your own local community, a community that will continue to look for more opportunities for racial justice, equality, and change. Well, guys, so here we have it. They actually are supporting the NAACP with money and all of this stuff. They're doing a fundraiser for, I guess, 3 hours. So this is actually quite crazy. I guess I can't support Bandcamp anymore. I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to pirate music. So that's actually such a shame. I loved supporting creators, but I guess this is just what you get forced into sometimes. So here we have Bang Zoom exclamation mark entertainment. They just say a hashtag Black Lives Matter. This is something that was thrown together in a statement. This is actually really terrible as a statement. They legitimately don't care about this, so that's actually kind of interesting. So I don't think these guys are a traitor. That's pretty insane. So next up, Bank of America. So this, I don't know why the archive.is links are not working for me right now, guys. So we're just going to have to trust them. I'll say they're a traitor. For those of you who don't know, they were actually pretty cool during the lockdowns. All of the other banks were actually supporting California and not closing down people for their foreclosures, but Bank of America was pretty dank and they didn't actually join in on that. So I think they're pretty cool, but you never know if you can transfer one statement from another. And I'll trust OneAngryGamer on this one. I'd say they're a traitor. Next up, we have Barnes & Noble. So Barnes & Noble are actually I support them just because I don't like Amazon. Amazon, they're a big tech company, and you know how we feel about those guys. You don't really like the big tech companies. So we're actually going to look at the Barnes & Noble statement here to see what I can do for books. I might have to, I might actually end up buying, pirating ebooks and then printing out the paper, and then folding it up to actually read books, because I do like physical paper. I'm not a big fan of e-readers, and reading on a computer is kind of a pain. Of course, I don't really read that many books at all, so we'll actually have to see about this one. Listening, learning, and standing in solidarity with our black booksellers, authors, and readers. Hashtag Blackout Tuesday. And then they post a black image. It's not that it's not loading. It's actually just a black image, guys. So we actually see this one. Blackout Tuesday. We'll see about this one. I could go either way. I think I'm still going to keep buying books from Barnes & Noble. I don't really buy any books ever because I don't really read, but we'll actually have to see about that one. Beamdog, they're a developer. Once again, with the gaming developers, we really have to keep our eyes out because they're kind of sneaky. Whew, okay, guys, so Black Lives Matter. They don't use the hashtag here. This is very low engagement. Black Lives Matter. We stand in solidarity against racial injustice and support communities that are diverse, inclusive, and safe. We believe in a world of compassionate humanity and strive to realize the beliefs of our products, our culture, and our community. At this time, more than ever, we strive to listen to black voices and reflect on how our own practices can change for the better. We welcome the questions. Okay. Okay. At this time, more than ever, we listen to black voices and reflect our own practices and change for the better. We welcome questions from aspiring black game developers on career advancement. Email /HR@beamdog.com and encourage our team to join others in the gaming world in offering mentorship in areas of expertise. In consultation with our team, Beamdog will be making charitable donation to Canada's Black Health Alliance. So we actually see this is a Canadian company, and so when a non-American company stands out, you just have to be kind of careful. Like I said, they can be a traitor because we looked up the definition of the traitor in the last video, but you just have to really watch out. So these guys, if they're making a statement and they're not in America, they're actually not being forced to by the American audience and the silent or the vocal minority. So this means that they do actually care about it. Like, normally this wouldn't be enough for me to call them a traitor, but because they're actually Canadian, like, they're 100% a traitor here. So next up, we have Behavior Interactive, Dead by Daylight developer. It says, okay, Black Lives Matter. They use the hashtag Black on White. We believe all companies have a moral duty to support their companies, and that support is needed now more than ever. To show our support for the Black community, we are contributing Hoodstock, a Montreal movement that encourages dialogue and mobilization against systemic racism and inequality, and fosters the co-creation of inclusive, safe, dynamic urban spaces. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. And so, behavior. I don't really know. So I don't know. They are a gaming company. I don't know if they make good games or not. I could go either way on this one, to the point where if they make good games, I would say keep buying their games. If they make bad games, don't buy them. You'll just have to go with your preconceived notions of that company to judge your opinions on how woke they are. So that's kind of just how it goes. Believe Global Music Prompter. So tomorrow, believe in TuneCore. So I don't know if this is going to show up later, but TuneCore will take part in a Blackout Tuesday in solidarity with the Black community in fighting against racism and violence. We believe in respect. We believe in tolerance. We believe in equal rights. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Hashtag the show must be paused. Hashtag Blackout Tuesday. On the 2nd of June, Believe in TuneCore will take part in Blackout Tuesday. We stand in solidarity with the Black community in fighting against racism and violence. Employees will be able to take the day off and take part in the movement. We believe it is of dire importance to let all voices of the community to express themselves, and therefore we will continue to provide our artists an independent platform to speak out. We will be donating subscription fees collected by TuneCore on the day of Blackout Tuesday to a charity that embodies the spirit and mission of advancing anti-racist and anti-violence cultures. The TuneCore artists will receive 100% of their royalties on that day. We believe in respect, we believe in tolerance, we believe in equal rights. Hashtag Black Lives Matter, hashtag the show must be paused, hashtag Black Lives Tuesday. Believe TuneCore. So this is a pretty comprehensive statement. They have a lot of words in the tweet and then a lot of words in the image with the black background. They're saying they're donating money. However, it is low engagement, so you have to keep that in mind. There's actually no replies. I don't know where. We need to actually get our silent majority bros in here replying, saying all lives matter and stuff like that. Because if we don't have that in every tweet, people don't actually know that the silent majority is out there, guys. So you actually a little bit something to keep in mind is the thing with being a silent majority is if you don't actually tweet and reply on every single tweet you see, people don't know you're actually the silent majority because you just stay silent. So you actually do need to reply and say hey, all lives matter, stuff like that. So keep that in mind, guys. Make sure to tweet this out and say all lives matter down here. So tomorrow we believe in TuneCore will take part in Blackout Tuesday in solidarity with the Black community fighting against racism and violence. So that's actually kind of interesting. We'll see about this one. I think they're a traitor 100%. This is a really insane, comprehensive statement. They know what they're doing. They're giving money. This is kind of crazy. So that's 100% a traitor. One of the biggest traitors we've seen so far, in fact. So next up, we have Ben & Jerry's. So 4 years ago, in the wake of Ferguson, we felt compelled to support the hashtag Black Lives Matter movement. We're heartbroken for those who are... We're heartbroken. Those words are just as relevant we're heartbroken. Those words are just as relevant today. These racist and brutal attacks against our Black brothers and sisters must end. Hashtag justice for Floyd. And then they link Ben & Jerry's blog post. So we'll check this one out. Black Lives Matter. Why Black Lives Matter? Black Lives Matter. They matter because they are children, brothers, sisters, mothers, and fathers. They matter because injustices they face steal from all of us, white people and people of color alike. They steal our very humanity. Systemic and institutionalized racism are defining civil rights and social justice issues of our time. We've come to understand to be silent, the violence and threats of our lives and well-being of Black people, to be complicit in the violence of those threats. We ask you to join us in not being complicit. There is good news. The first step in overcoming systemic racism and injustice is to simply understand and admit that there is a problem. it's trying to understand the perspective that those experiences that with the others with whose experiences are different from our own, not just to listen, but to truly understand those whose struggle for justice is real and yet not complete. Rev. Dr. William J. Barber II, president of the North Carolina NAACP, said it best when reacting to the recent police shooting in Charlotte, North Carolina. He said, "Our objective is simple: to ensure justice-loving people act towards justice, with all evidence that we stand together and act from a place of power, love, rather than fear and anger." It has been hard to watch the list of unarmed black Americans killed by law enforcement officers grow longer and longer. We understand that numerous black Americans and white Americans are profoundly different experiences with outcomes with law enforcement and the criminal justice system. That's why it's become clear to us at Ben & Jerry's that we have a moral obligation to stand now for justice of black lives. We want to be clear. We believe in saying Black Lives Matter, not to say that those who serve with law enforcement and community don't. We respect and value the commitment and communities of those in law enforcement make. We respect the value of every one of their lives. But we do believe that, whether black or brown, white or blue, our nation and our very way of dependent on the principle that all people being served equal justice under the law. And it's clear the effect of the criminal justice system are not colorblind. We do not place blame on individual officers. Rather, we believe that due to systemic racism built into the fabric of our institutions at every level, disadvantaging and discriminating against people of color goes beyond the individual intent to discriminate. For this reason, we are not pointing fingers at individuals. Rather, we instead urging us to come together for a better society and institutions that may finally fulfill the profound promise of our country to be a country with dignity and justice for all. All lives do matter, but they will not matter until Black Lives Matter. We are a company who are open to understanding these issues and not reflectively retreat into the current beliefs. Change happens when people are willing to listen and hear the struggles of their neighbor, putting aside preconceived notions and truly seeking to understand to grow. We are truly not hard at best. Ask as you will. So I was actually kind of on the fence. This is clearly a well thought out comprehensive blog post. It was actually made in October 6th of 2016. I was actually on the fence. I was definitely against it. I thought this was 100% traitor material until at the very end there, and they say all lives do matter. And I think that kind of stands on its own if you ignore the rest of the blog post. So I'll say I'll give them a pass, wavering. This is the kind of situation where it's you're okay if you buy vanilla ice cream from here, but if you buy chocolate ice cream, that's kind of pushing it. So yeah, I'm alright with that one actually. Next up we have Best Buy. Okay, another long statement from Best Buy. We are, I believe, in one of the toughest times in our country's history. We will continue to battle with the deadly pandemic resulting economic havoc while once again coming face to face with the long-term effects of racial injustice. Watching tens of thousands of these take to the streets to seek out against fear and inhumanity is, on one hand, inspiring for the commitment it represents, and on the other, heartbreaking for its profound need. But what's next? What do we do? What do we do to change the cycle in which black men or women with tragic frequency are harmed by those who are supposed to protect them? Or the gut-wrenching truth that to be a person of color in America is often not to feel fully safe, seen, or heard. For me, it starts with seeing a situation as it is, acknowledging these experiences for what they are, and quite simply apologizing for not doing enough. As important, it includes committing to the company I lead down the path of systemic permanent change, as well as ways you can find them. I don't have the answers, but I'm no longer okay and asking for the question. If everything were on the table, what could Best Buy do? With that in mind, I'm appointing a diverse group, but this is a lot of words, guys. So they're saying to continue to challenge one another and ultimately our senior leadership team and board of directors with substantive and enduring ways we can address the inequalities and injustices in which all of us bear witness every day. In many ways, we have engaged in these issues for years. We have long been focused on the building a national framework we call Teen Tech Centers, places teens from disinvested communities are exposed and trained in a range of technology that we now know can make a critical difference in helping find success in post-secondary education or the job market. We are looking to create more than 100 of these centers open year-round, typically hosting hundreds of young people who will begin in middle school and leave with a graduate in high school. We do not believe We do not do this alone, of course, as our employees, vendor partners, and dozens of nonprofits are actively engaged in bringing this mission to life. Additionally, we have brought resources to bear the public issue of remote learning. In our home state of Minnesota, we helped the public-private efforts to provide computers and internet access and hundreds of thousands of youth from disincentivized communities who have neither. I found this technology learned from home. Should it be necessary to fall and winter? Oh, guys, okay. Lots of words. I have to say, there's probably at least 10,000 words in this statement here. That's a lot. So you just have to bear with me as I struggle to read this. Like I said, I don't read a lot of books. In fact, I don't usually read. Usually in a game when there's a lot of words, I kind of spam A because I just like shooting people. Anyways, should it be necessary to this fall and winter would be possible, widening both digital divide and an opportunity gap. This effect is reflective of our broader view, and we must continue to be an important player in the communities we are part of, especially those hardest hit. This includes continuing to serve in the neighborhoods in which our stores are damaged. And as for those who rely on us the most, our employees, we continue to focus on their safety, just as we did in response to the pandemic. We closed some stores around the country when we felt the risk was too high. Some remained closed, and an affected employee will be paid for their time. As always, no one is compelled to go back to work if they feel uncomfortable. Neighborhoods across America have felt the heat of flames lit by those who would only harm, and still others who felt the fear that comes from not knowing where the harm may go. Next, but those fires will be extinguished, the damage will be repaired, and what remains, however, will be the inedible images of George Floyd and the many who have come before him. It is their name that we embrace in the fight for equality and justice and common sense, one we all fight and solve together. Thank you, Corey Berry, Chief Executive Officer of Best Buy. Okay, so guys, they actually do mention that there's rioters like Antifa, rioters, super soldier people down here at the very bottom of the statement. So like I said, this is a similar case with Ben & Jerry's. You can kind of just ignore the rest of it. Because they mention it at the bottom, it kind of undermines everything else they said. So they're actually saying that the rioters are a big deal, and so that's actually kind of insane. I think Best Buy 100% stands with us, guys. So Best Buy, 100% good. Next up, we have Bethesda. So this is a double trader. I believe the last time we had a double trader was Amazon. So this is going to be a big deal. Amazon, for guys of you who don't remember, Amazon was a huge trader. We'll just have to look at this one and see what we get. So Bethesda. Okay, black image. This guy down here making a great point. Don't mix politics with gaming. That's actually a really good point. Next up, hashtag Black Lives Matter. Together we stand united with black communities to listen to and speak up against inequality, oppression, and racism. Not just now, but always. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. Honestly, I feel like I've seen this exact same image, literally this exact same one with a couple of other companies. So I feel like this is actually every one of these companies is actually hacked, right? And they're actually being forced to make these statements. So we'll actually see about this one. We'll see if it comes out and they say they are hacked. I think this is actually a probation and not a double trader. 100% not a double trader. So next up, BioWare. Company with a tired face. I have no idea what that means. What? Anyway, next up, BioWare. They just retweeted EA's statement. Who cares? Babbler Mouth. Rock music news site. Okay. Babbler Mouth. The music industry to stage a blackout in solidarity with the black community following the George Floyd death. Music industry blackout Tuesday. Due to the recent events, please join us as we take an urgent step towards provoke accountability and change. As gatekeepers of culture, it is our responsibility to not only come together to celebrate the wins, but also hold each other up during the loss. Join us Tuesday, June 2nd, as a day of disconnect from work and reconnect from our community. Hashtag the show must be paused. And then they link a post. The music industry to stand together to stage a blackout in solidarity with the black community following George Floyd death. As a record label and the other music industry members have joined forces to make June 2nd Blackout Tuesday response to the killing of George Floyd, a nationwide protest. Floyd, a 46-year-old black man, was killed in Minneapolis by a police officer in an incident caught on camera. The officer, Derek Chauvin, kneeled his neck in the back for nearly 10 minutes while Floyd was handcuffed. So this is actually, they're actually already lying here. So they say nearly 10 minutes. It was in fact 9 minutes, so that's already a lie right off the bat. Chauvin has been charged with third-degree murder and manslaughter. Once again, guys, another lie. His charges have been up to second degree. This whole blog post is actually full of lies so far, so we'll see how this goes so far. Warner Records, Universal, Sony, Interscope, Geffen, and Columbia, along other labels, have pledged to disconnect the work and reconnect the community. So obviously all of these companies are traitors. We're not going to see several of these till later. Columbia, we're actually probably going to see in the next episode. So that's pretty cool. Due to the recent events, please join us as we take an urgent step of action to provoke accountability and change, a message being used to raise awareness for the campaign reads. As gatekeepers of culture, it is our responsibility to not only come together and celebrate the wins, but also hold each other up during the loss. Universal Music Group spoke out against the killing of Floyd, writing on social media, in the words of Dr. King, there comes a time when silence is betrayal. When you have a responsibility to raise your voice for change, the time has come. There is no place in this world for hate and violence, the face of bigotry and injustice. We're proud of the way as our artists, songwriters, and employees have spoken out. At UMG, we are committing to bring a force of constructive change. Columbia wrote, "We stand together with the black community against all forms of racism, bigotry, and violence. Now, more than ever, we must use our voices to speak up and challenge injustices all around us." A number of rock and heavy metal users have spoken out against racism in the aftermath of George Floyd's death, including Guns N' Roses, Kiss, and Slipknot. So I have no idea who those people are. A lot of Instagram posts here, and we don't care. We'll probably see those later down in the list. I think these guys are definitely traitors as a news site. So I don't understand. So I think this is an error too, guys, actually. So he's saying that this rock music news site is a traitor. However, it's actually clear that they're just reporting on what other organizations are doing. So I don't think this one is fair to include at all. So this is actually, they're not a traitor. They're just reporting on the news. So these guys are not a traitor, 100%. Black Metal Brews, a music review site. So we'll actually see here. So they actually retweeted a tweet, which is find your local bail fund and list and you give you can. And then they link to a github.io page. So they're telling people to donate. Telling people to donate on its own, I don't think is enough to warrant on this list, because they actually. I haven't actually explained this one. So donating to bail is actually good because it's a lot of like black criminal protesters, and when you actually donate to bail, you're actually donating to get these people out of jail, so they're going to commit more crimes. So it actually reinforces the statistic that 13% of black people actually commit 50% of crimes. So it actually reinforces that and makes it probably grow, actually. So it's actually good to donate to bail because it causes more crimes to be committed by black people. So that actually reinforces like what we've been saying all along, guys. So please actually donate to bail funds. I would definitely recommend you do that, 100%. Black Star Amps, guitar amp supplier. Okay, they're on probation. In support of equal rights, understanding, and solidarity, we will see you tomorrow. The show must be paused. And then they post a black image. Alright. That's an alright one. So I don't know what to say about that. I don't know. So yeah, they're on probation, I believe. So I think that's reasonable. I think he's 100% right with this one. This is a probation. They don't really say anything. They just say the show must be paused. They don't say why, you know? Next up, we have Bleacher Report. Racism exists. Already lying. Bachelor Report stands with our black community. We will continue to do better, be better, and use our platform just for sports, but not just for sports, but for change. Solutions start together. This is actually very much a traitor statement. Like, a sports review site should 100% keep to sports, never talk about politics. Like, it never happens, like, when there's, like, a sports situation that, like, intersects with politics. Like, remember when, like, Colin Kaepernick kneeled? Like, that's not really relevant to sports. That's just a political issue. Like, it's 100% political. So, like, to see, it was kind of sad. Like, you see, like, ESPN and Sports Center and all these other, like, sports sites. Just as a reminder, ESPN is actually owned by Disney, which is a complete CCP sellout. They actually censor all of their media to help for the Chinese, like, media landscape. It's actually crazy, guys. So don't trust anything ESPN says about sports, because they also get involved in politics. But anyway, like I was saying, like, it's crazy to see these sports sites get involved in political issues, like Colin Kaepernick kneeling. Next up, we have Blueberry, designer fashion. Oh, Burberry. Guys, so this is actually an error on the list, guys. Another one, we've caught it. He says Blueberry when it's actually Burberry. So there's no place for racism. As human beings, we all need to do better. There's no place for racism. As human beings, we all need to do better. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. And then they link to a blog post. Oh no, they actually just link to an Instagram post. We speak out today as members of the global community, united in solidarity for those who are standing up for change. The murders of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and Tony McDade are too many, and others are painful, as a reminder of how far we need to go in this fight against racism and all forms of inequality. As human beings, we all need to do better. We are to build a truly inclusive society where everyone is respected and valued. We need to speak up and listen and learn from one another to take action. At Burberry, we have made it a commitment of fostering culture and inclusion, equality, and belonging. Now more than ever, we stand together strongly by it and informed by our diversity and inclusion councils. As allies, we are adding our voice to the call of change that is needed to take part, and we are making a donation to Black Lives Matter. Hashtag Black Lives Matter. So they don't say how much they're donating. They could actually be donating $1. We'll see about that one. I think, but given that they made a statement on both social media platforms, that's probably enough to be a traitor. I could go either way on it. Bluehost. Equality matters. Justice matters. We see you. We hear you. Hashtag Blackout Tuesday. This is a very minor statement. I think this is actually inconsistent. So he says, Mr. OneAngryGamer, he says that these guys are traitors. I don't think that's true. But if we actually go up here, Backstar Amps, the guitar amps people, they made the exact same statement. So I don't know what to say about this. Like, this is actually blatant favoritism towards Blackstar Amps. I don't know if OneAngryGamer like owns Blackstar Amps and like he thinks that he needs to support them because of that. But that's actually a huge red flag, and it makes me not trust a lot of stuff on this list. I don't know what to say about this one. Like, if you just look at these two statements, they're exactly the same. But yet one of them is probation, and one of them is sorry guys. So he's actually consistent once again. Huge apology on my part. So it actually is both on probation. So I misread the whole thing. So actually, once again, OneAngryGamer knocks it out of the park. Incredible consistency on his part. Good job on him. So next up, BMW USA. More archive.is links. I don't know why they're not loading for me, but they're not. So next up, Boost Mobile, same situation. Bossa Studios, a surgeon simulator developer. We see the images and events happening around the world. We, like you, find them upsetting and disturbing. We would like to take the opportunity to express our support for the Black Lives Matter movement, but we can and will do more. As a first small step, we're donating $100 to every Rosen, matching any individual donation to the Black Lives Matter music. However, more importantly, we will be taking time to discuss internally how we can better support minority communities. We would like to implore our colleagues in the game industry, as they help themselves as they can grow, to support more marginalized groups and continue our industry and our society. And so then they link to blacklivesmatters.card.co. Once again, like I would recommend everyone donate, especially to like freeing bales for predefined reasons. But regardless, this is a pretty significant statement. They're saying they're matching donations. They're saying they're donating. They're saying they're working with other people. This is 100% trader material. Next up, we have Bratz. Toys for thoughts in training. Wow, so that's crazy. They sell fashion to young girls. That's crazy, guys. Okay. Make your voice heard. Please sign the Justice for George Floyd petition. Our hearts break for George Floyd and the black community. Bratz has always been as always and will be about diversity and inclusivity. It is for all responsibility to take a stand against racism, and we can't call ourselves inclusive while staying silent about the social inequalities that are in front of us. If you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. Despontutu. Please sign the Justice for George Floyd petition. Brats. Wow. Okay. So next up we have Brazzers. So I don't think this is actually safe to look at on YouTube. So that's interesting, but I assume they're a traitor because they actually, it's porn, and porn is already bad. So Brookfeld Zoo. We stand against injustice and racism. Once again, consistent 100%. So as you see, is like, if you have the black image and you don't really say much, it's just a short statement, they're on probation. So that's good. He's consistent here. They're not a traitor. Okay, Budweiser. Our purpose is to bring people together. We stand with our black, brown employees, partners, and communities. Hate, prejudice, and negation will never die on the table. So I think this might be controversial, but I think these statements are the same. So we stand united against injustice, against racism, and they say we stand with our black employees and partners and communities. So I think these are the same. I don't think Budweiser is a traitor here. I don't think Budweiser is a traitor. I think they're okay. I think they're on probation too. So I think this should be probation. Bungie. So we actually saw 343 Industries earlier. So this Bungie, they are actually the good company. They're not the bad company like 343 Industries. So we'll just have to keep that in mind. Bungie. Black Lives Matter. Wow, this is a big statement. They give like 5 links and then they have an image. When words are not enough, only action can bring about change. Taking a stand against systemic racism, injustice, and prejudice is everyone's responsibility, and it begins with education and engagement. Here's the list of suggested organizations that we can encourage you to visit and donate to. We at Budgie have a commitment to standing up on behalf of the black community, including our players, developers, fans, and neighbors. Racial injustice surrounds us, and we need to help create a positive change. Bungie is making a financial contribution to these organizations and matching donations made by any people on our team. This will not be the only contribution to fight for injustice in our community, and globally we have a platform. We intend to use it. So this is actually a much more significant statement than 343 Industries made. They just quote tweeted a Microsoft statement in general. So this is actually kind of crazy. I don't know how to feel about this one. That's kind of, ooh. I don't know how to feel about this one, guys. So I don't think Bungie is a good company anymore. I'm actually going to stop playing Destiny 2. I never really played Destiny 2. I've never actually opened it. I've never actually downloaded it or added it to my Steam account, but I'm going to stop playing it, guys. So next up we have Burger King. This is actually our last statement of the B's. We should continue to see in the next episode. So here we have Call of Duty might be the first one unless he adds a new one. We stand with you in support of equality and injustice for black lives, and we use our platform, our position, and our voice to do so. When it comes to people's lives, there's only one way to have it, without discrimination. They're actually, as this guy points out, they are actually praising Antifa. And this tweet, if you actually read the tweet, it's actually kind of clear that they're praising Antifa, rioting, and looting, and they're actually endorsing all of that. They actually also hate white people. So Burger King is actually the single worst one we've seen so far. This is actually terrible, especially if you look at the no capitalization. They're actually clearly dog whistling something. I assume I don't have to explain it. Anyway, guys, so that's actually concludes the B's. I think I was a little bit more thorough this time. I hope to see you tomorrow. We'll be looking over the C's. All right, guys.